So welcome to MVP Podcast first morning edition. We usually do these Friday afternoon, but now we're doing them Friday morning because we've got a guest here, Shawn from South Africa. So we got in early, but welcome to the show. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being up early.
Only a pleasure. I'm actually staying up late, so thanks to you for getting up.
Oh, you're late. I was going to ask you about the time change.
It's not that late here. I mean, I've just had my third cup of coffee for the day, so it's just going a little after 4 p.m.
Oh, really? You're after 4. Okay. Interesting. I didn't think there'd be that big of a time change going east-west, but yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's a lovely day here in Cape Town in South Africa. It's been really sunny, and I'm thrilled to be able to chat to you. Ain't this cool? The modern technology, the wonders of the internet.
Yeah, totally. I love it. It was really like a spur of the moment. Me and Natasha were like, hey, we're talking to these people. Let's just record it and start a podcast. So it's taken off. It's been fun. Neither of us in our wildest thoughts would have thought we'd be doing a podcast because I really don't like it. And Natasha got thrown in the day of. I was like, hey, Natasha, we have an extra mic. You want to jump on? And she was like, sure. I thought I was just doing like the scheduling and the editing, but I'll jump on.
I love how you guys have, and you've rolled with it so organically. I come from a radio background. I've worked on regional radio stations in South Africa. So seeing a camera or a microphone is normal to me. But to be thrown into that at the drop of a hat, spur of the moment, Natasha, kudos.
It is major kudos.
Well done.
Major kudos.
And I'm finally back this week after being gone for 2 weeks. So, yay. Yep.
Well, Marcus must have missed you then.
I absolutely did. Absolutely did. I was running around panicking, forgetting to record. Just all sorts of tech issues as she's gone.
That's what you have me on here for, Marcus.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we record.
Exactly.
That's vital. I mean, without you, this wouldn't be happening.
It is. Well, Shawn, let's get into kind of your background. Why don't you tell the audience? I mean, we already mentioned you're in South Africa. Yep. And then what do you specifically do? And then how did you get to the position you're in?
Okay, so specifically, I work in media, content creation, broadcasting, and so forth and so forth. I have a couple of podcasts. I've worked in radio for years. Digital content is like my playground at this point in time. I do a variety of voiceover from sleep stories and very meditative, getting you to fall asleep. Yeah. All the way through to getting you zippy and moving along, whatever the case might be. So I use my voice a lot. But as far as real estate is concerned, this year, 2021, was a very big year for my family. We got to renovate our home, and it's something that we had been thinking about doing for many, many years. The reason behind the renovation is all to do with my daughter. I have a 5-year-old. She has special needs. She's epileptic and she has developmental delays. And I have a double-story house that makes the navigation of the space quite tricky when you have someone in wheelchairs or in standing frames or physiotherapy or all of those things. So I got the chance to renovate my house geared towards what I think she's going to need as she grows up. And that's what got me here.
That's awesome.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm. In South Africa, there's in the US, there's not a lot of ADA, like wheelchair accessible codes for residential. So you'll see houses randomly, but there's not like a code that people need to, maybe a doorway for the bathroom or something like that. But usually there's no guidelines unless you're in commercial. So this is something that's pretty unique. I'm super interested because I've never had to construct a house this way. So I'm interested to see some of the projects you did and how you work through them. If you haven't been in construction before, I'm sure there's some planning ahead. So what all went into that? What got you the itch and what made you pull the trigger?
Okay, so I've always had a huge interest in design. I think prior to getting into anything radio related, I thought I was going to be an architect or an interior design something. So there's always that that's been there. That's always been
It's
an itch.
looming over you.
It's like this little superpower that I have that I only reveal from time to time. The interest grew to the point where about 3 or 4 years ago, I decided just to do a short course on interior design because I knew I would never follow through with an architectural course. I'm far too long and far too involved, and I don't have the patience anymore. But the interest is still there, and I just wanted to learn a little bit more and investigate it. And I think through that and growing up, my family, we would go for walks on a Sunday afternoon, and invariably in the neighborhood that we lived in, invariably there would be some other construction happening. And it was like, I mean, a kid in the candy shop. Like I would go straight in and try and figure out, is this a kitchen or is this the main bedroom in terms of the flow? What's going to look like when they start putting, all of the furniture in, or what about the cabinetry that they're going to add? Imagine flowing in here. I wonder what floors they're going to put in. What color would you paint it? The direction that it's facing, is it north facing? Where's the sun coming? All of those types of things.
Yeah.
And we would do that as a family every time we walked around, and you would see the construction site maybe develop a bit over a couple of weeks. And then it was always so heartbreaking once they put the doors and windows in and you couldn't get in anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's just something that was intrinsic to me. That's something that I grew up doing, and I guess from there, that was where the interest in terms of architecture and interior design came. I was fortunate to travel a little bit as well, so wherever I went, there was always this sense of how does this space make me feel, and how do I respond to where I am. Mm-hmm. And then having a small child, I suppose your world changes immediately again, right? You start to imagine what they're experiencing and how they see things, and how they get to utilize a certain space. And now I'm in a unique position where I have a child that's growing up in an ableist world, in a world that's designed for right-handed people and for people that can walk and for people that can, just get up and go places and they can reach high. And I mean, I'm tall, so I can reach the top of a shelf on a cupboard. It's not a problem for me. Yeah. But now you've got someone that's a lot smaller.
Yep.
Might be in a wheelchair, or has difficulty moving or opening doors or reaching things. And it got me thinking about, how do you incorporate that way of living in the world, but what about your residential space? What about the actual space that you get to reside in 24/7? How can we make that more accessible for all of us to live with a little bit more ease and comfort? So that's kind of a little bit background, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, your daughter's going to be navigating the house for years and years and years. So try to make it as comfortable as possible. So kudos for you on that one. But what you mentioned with the righty and lefty, as a lefty, there were some struggles. And I think one of the coolest presents as a kid was my dad got me a notebook for lefties, a pen for lefty, a scissors for lefties, because I'd always sit in those seats where the desk came off to the right.
Think about the notebook.
The spiral on the notebook.
Oh my
gosh. The amount of imprints I would have on my hand because I'm taking notes, writing over that. So, I mean, all they did was hole punch the other side and I would open it the opposite way.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was super cool. And I was like, you're right. The world is made for righties.
Yeah.
And that was like my big eye-opening moment, because I think I was like 6 or 7 at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember getting to school and the desks all came off from the right. And there was one little slab piece on your right for people to write on. So I'd have to sit angled in my seat just so I could use it. And that was like my first, like, okay, this is made for righties, but we can all adapt. But some people just need like an extra little bit. So what are some things you put in your house as you're looking through that you came up with ideas that, all right, this would work here, and it actually came and your plan worked out?
Yeah. So the house is double story, which immediately has its problems, right? There's a set of stairs.
Yeah.
So how do I navigate those? Then there's a bathroom upstairs that had a shower, toilet, basin, but very pokey. I don't know what other words we could use. Quaint. Cozy.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm looking at some sort of real estate descriptions. So yeah, a really small sort of space to be able to navigate. So doing any form of bathing was tricky because that involves not using the bathroom. And you've got to use a different room to be able to do any form of bathing, which then is either a large container of water, or it just becomes cumbersome. And that's fine for now because she's small, but as she grows, that's not really how are we going to do that. So the bathroom was a major thing, and getting up and down the stairs was a major thing. And those two were really the starting points of trying to find ways to make things more accessible. So in terms of the bathroom, I did my best to go with a completely clean slate. We knocked down 2 of the 4 walls, and we made the space bigger. Fortunately, there was enough space to do so. So I took out a room, and I wish I had the plan. I could show you what we did.
Yeah.
Well, if you have the digital plan or pictures, we can put it in the show notes, which I think could be really cool to add in.
Okay, by all means, I can send you stuff.
Awesome.
So the bathroom, we took down 2 of the walls, basically eliminating everything in that space, and then recreated it. Now it's effectively a wet room. It's tiled from wall to wall, floor, the entire space. I put in an overhead shower, and I put in a handheld shower rose, so to speak. The appliances are all, or the water faucets, I suppose is what you would call them. The taps are all a little bit lower on the wall, so they're easier to reach. There's nothing that twists. It's all mixer tap orientated. And each of those mixer taps I chose that have, I want to say, almost hooks to them. They're designed in a way where, and they're regular taps. I just chose ones that have sort of a grip. You'd be able to grip them if you weren't able to, if you haven't got strong wrist strength, for argument's sake, or you're able to use your elbow to bump something, you'd be able to get it in there and be able to do it on your own. Trying to find ways to be able to provide independence, or a seeming sense of independence. The basin I got a really wide, low, deep basin, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of space between the wall and the front of the basin. And we put it at a height that allows for a wheelchair to be able to go all the way underneath it, and for the user to be able to reach the tap at the back of the basin. It's shallow enough that you can obviously put your hands in and push water to your face if you're able to do so. But it's not too shallow to have to reach your elbow up and into a basin, if that makes sense. I haven't put up any guide rails as yet because she's not at the stage where she can use those, but there's space to be able to do that at a later stage. I put in a heater in the room as well. So there's an overhead warmth for the room. So when you flick it on, it immediately heats the space.
I want one of those for my bathroom.
Those heating lamps?
Yes.
Yeah, one of those massive heating lamps.
Yes.
And lastly, and I suppose also super important, the bathroom door is a sliding door. So we created a cavity, a pocket, so to speak, so that the door opens as wide as possible, and drifts as easily as possible. That's basically what I did to the bathroom. And then lastly, similarly with the height, I made sure that all of the switches are lower. So all the light switches throughout the entire house are now a lot lower. They're easier to reach from wheelchair height. And as someone that's able to walk, it's reaching down. I don't know where the light switches are in American design or home design, but a lot of South African stuff, that standard height is probably higher than, I want to say now, higher than a door handle. But again, I don't know what your door handle's height is. So
ours is like rib cage.
I was just
how tall are you?
I'm looking at mine right now, and it's a good foot above where the door handle is.
Right. And that's normally where a South African light switch would be as well. Like you say, above a door handle, like you say, rib cage height. So now it's more like waist height, I suppose. I mean, I'm going to use a metric system and tell you it's a meter off the ground, but that probably doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah, we're the stubborn ones who don't use the metric system.
Just make the change.
I know. I don't know why we're holding out. I don't get it.
So, it's funny. Like, you're telling me all these things, and my husband and I have a running list of what we want to put in our dream house, or like our forever home, when we finally have the chance to go out and renovate our forever home. And I'm sitting here like putting in the things that you are saying. So I'm like, I want this, I want this, I want this. So I appreciate everything that you're telling me.
Only a pleasure. Fly me over. I'll come and do it for you.
Well, Love it.
So that was the bathroom, and then we were able to add another bedroom for her as well onto the house. And again, for that was as simple as thing as putting in a sliding door again, a nice solid door that slides really easily. The light switches are low, and that was just an open canvas of a room to be able to fill as we needed to. And then the piece de resistance, if I pardon my French accent.
I love it.
But we got a piece of German engineering in the house. We put a lift into our home. It is
really
the single most incredible piece of engineering that I have the pleasure of using on a daily basis. It is. I'm also a very big fan of Scandinavian and Nordic sort of design. So it's a very sleek. I'm going to send you photographs. You can put them in your show notes. I'm going to do my best to explain it to you. It's 2 pillars and a housing, so to speak. And then the lift itself, the elevator itself, when it leaves the ground floor, it picks up the floor above it and takes it with it. And then when the lift goes down, it drops that panel back into the hole. So if I'm upstairs, I can walk around upstairs. There's a solid floor to walk on. And if I'm downstairs and the lift is up, there's nothing to see. It's just 2 pillars. It's the coolest, sleekest, slimmest design. And because an elevator is this big, chunky, silver, gross-looking thing in a commercial building. And at best, you might get something that's maybe enclosed in glass or encased in glass, so at least looks a little bit more softer in a residential space. But it just disappears. If it's not there, if it's on the different floor, you don't even notice that it's in the house. So it's really cool.
That's amazing.
That's going to keep the house feel, the coziness to it for sure.
Precise. Exactly.
So is this more of a lift that goes vertical, or does it go along your stairs? It just goes straight vertical?
Yeah, the staircase unfortunately twists and turns. It goes around a few corners to get up the stairs, the way they designed the house. So a stair or a chair lift was never an option for us. There were just too many bends. Yeah. And we came to realize, of course, I mean, I'm not a wheelchair user, but I came to realize that if Zoe is in a wheelchair, or if she's in a feeding chair, or if she's in a device downstairs, and I put her in a stair lift, once she gets to the top, she needs to go back into something again when she gets there. So somehow the wheelchair needs to get upstairs, or I have to have double of everything.
That's true.
So the chairlift was never going to work for us. And there was a lot of talk about, should we rather, find a different location entirely? What are we doing here? We're building onto a house that's already double story. You're potentially over investing in a space. Right. But Zoe she's epileptic and she has developmental delays. So she can't tell me how she's feeling or how a space has improved the way that she's utilizing it. I can say from my standpoint, it's a lot easier to get her through the house, to go through bathing. We've incorporated a therapy space for her. So I have swings now hanging from the ceiling and all sorts of things like that. It's super cool.
Awesome.
But what was also incredible to see somebody else utilize this space, in that my in-laws came to stay with us soon after we had renovated the house. And my father-in-law, he has wonky knees and his elbows hurt and his shoulders are uncomfortable. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot of operations. He was heavily involved in his sporting codes when he was younger. And, the years are now catching up with him. So when he moves, his mobility is also impaired. And to see him utilize the house the way that he did, just zooting into the lift, up and down the stairs, freely moving throughout the shower space. Not that I was watching, don't get me wrong. Hearing him speak about the warmth of the heater, or being able to shower with ease and not having to worry about bumping into things, or being able to put a chair in that space and for him to be able to sit in the space because there's no walls or there's no glass partitionings. That was very heartwarming. And you realize you've done something that's improving other people's lives as well. And they feel welcome in your space, which is, that's what we all want, right? We want people to feel welcome where we live.
I can kind of relate to what you're saying. My mom had Parkinson's pretty severely towards the end of her life. And so we had a chairlift. We had to make all these kind of concessions for her to be able to even feel normal. She got put in a wheelchair at the end. And, I was listening to the nurses just saying how difficult it was just to even bathe her. I mean, they had a stand-up shower and they had a big bathtub, but it wasn't quite as conducive for their needs as what they were kind of looking for. And she by no means wanted to go to a nursing home or somewhere like that. So it was trying to make the best use of the space that they had. But for you to be able to make a whole new space for your daughter, it's absolutely heartwarming. And I'm sure maybe she can't say it to you, but I'm sure that you can see how much she appreciates it. So
thank you. Yes, I think I sense it. It's just something you hope you're reading into it, and I think she's happy, and that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. I love that idea of the swing room too, or having swings in a room. One of my girlfriends has an autistic son, and he is all about like sensory stuff and being able to, swing or like just do those things that really make him happy. And I feel like those type of movements and experiences can really help make your daughter feel happy. And I feel like that's all that we want for our children in life, is to feel happy.
Yeah. The swing thing is an awesome idea. I had a family member as well with some emotional regulation. And anytime she was going off on some extreme, she would go outside on the little swing hammock and swing for, I don't know, a good 5-10 minutes. And she'd come back in and be reset and feeling like calm. Aww. So those swing things, it's that repetitive motion just gets something in tune with their body, and they can click back in. I don't know if you've seen that with your daughter as well. I'm sure that helps with the epilepsy.
Yeah, it's a very interesting path we've gone down, right? The things you start to learn when you throw yourself in, and I suppose in our case, we're almost forced to. But we've tried together with myself and my wife have tried our best to integrate ourselves as possible into learning as much as possible and seeing how we can implement that around the house at least. And yes, I would say she loves movement. So whether she's in a chair and I can push her really fast on the wheels, she squeals. Whether it's this, we've got two swings now. There's one swing that is very stable in terms of a solid base, shall I say? I think they call it like a flying disc. It's a UFO sort of thing.
Okay.
Hangs from the ceiling. I've got what you refer to it as a soffit. There's a cement ceiling that allows for us to deadbolt into the ceiling, and that swing is fixed. That can swing back and forth, obviously, or rounds in circles, which is great. And then I have another one, which is made of a lycra material, which also helps that vestibular system or that sensory system. So it also sort of cocoons her, shall we say.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of bounce to that, and it swings back and forth, but it also brings that sense of being held, which she also responds to really, really well. So I was just really fortunate to be able to put those things in. And I guess maybe that's part of the design thinking or the interior design, and going, how can this space be used? How can we make it, benefit our lives to the nth degree? It's not just a room. What can I do to the room to make us all feel comfortable and be able to use it to its full extent, its full extent rather?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think she could have gotten a better father. I will just put that out there right now, because I feel like you've gone above and beyond, and I don't know. I'm speechless. Like, I think it's just absolutely incredible, the lengths that you have gone to, and I'm sure that she is just as appreciative.
Thank you, Natasha. It's a silly little thing, and I guess you only really realize how big of a difference it can make to your own life. Like for myself, the house has would you call it a porch? It has a patio outside where you would barbecue, or in our case, braai. So our outdoor entertaining space is a step down from inside the house, right? I mean, most houses are designed that way because of water flow and so forth. The house needs to be raised off the ground just to an extent. So it's a single step, not a problem. But navigating that step Zoe has a feeding chair as well as a wheelchair. So the chair that she spends a lot of time in has got 4 wheels. They're relatively small. They're spaced far apart. And getting her in and out of the house in that is really cumbersome. So when we renovated this space and we were able to add on extra space, I put in another sliding door, and we made sure that outside is the same level as inside, so that it slopes down to where our entertaining space is. Now just being able to push the chair outside without being, I don't know, without any form of obstacle is so liberating and is so freeing. And it makes you wonder about the world that's around us, right? The way things are designed and put together. So I'm very, very grateful and very blessed to have been able to do what we did for her. And it's improved the way we live in our lifestyle just so much. So
yeah, and you'll be enjoying that stuff for years to come. So I'm sure when she gets older, she'll be able to wheel herself out to the deck, and she'll love the independence and being able to join in. And my uncle just passed from ALS, and we have our family reunion. So we all went up because obviously there's a end date with that one, unfortunately, but they had retrofitted their house in the way that you're talking for him, and he's able to go in and out on the deck. So when we had pretty much the biggest family reunion we've had in a decade, he was able to come outside, play cards, do all that stuff, because his mind was still there. He'd still joke around, and he was the quickest witted uncle that I had, and he still had that.
Amazing.
But for him to go out and play cards and be able to go back in and get a drink of water just by himself and not have to get people to go get him stuff, because he was in construction and he was used to being independent. So on that side, he had a world where he was independent and then it was taken. Where on your daughter's side, she's going to have to learn and build independence with what you give her, and you're setting her up for the best way she possibly can. So
I hope
you'll
so.
enjoy
Thank
that for
you.
years to come.
And you realize as well through the design process or putting it all together. I mean, I was very fortunate to have contractors that came in that really understood what I was trying to do. So they were quite patient with me and helped me think through how some of these things might work out. And to try and design a space that is sort of future-proofing a space is really hard. It's a very fun exercise to do, but it's really hard. I mean, in anybody's case, you have no idea what's going to happen in the future. Yeah. So it was a really, I mean, it was a fun experience to put together, I must say. And I think maybe what you're picking up as well is just how much heart and love goes into being able to do this for somebody else, and then see everybody being able to use this space and feel some form of independence. I mean, as a parent, and my wife, Zoe, has an au pair as well. So there are a couple of us that utilize the house, whether it's family that come over. You realize that if nobody feels comfortable in this space being able to look after Zoe, then they're not going to come over. Right. Yeah. Similarly, when we want to go out and visit people, it becomes really tricky. If you want to go down to a restaurant and you realize that you have to push a wheelchair between narrow seating, and it makes you just want to go, you know what? We're not going to go.
Let's just order in. Yeah.
That's just exactly. And then over time, how isolating does that become for any family that has some form of difficulty or family member that's moving around? And I'm sure many family members in that case may very well think, you know, I'm the one that's preventing my family from doing things or going places or, so yeah, I'm hoping that in Zoe's case, she'll grow into this space, that she'll learn how to use this space. And that she can gain some form of independence through what we've been able to do. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm sure she will. And with this whole project, did you GC the whole thing, or did some of those contractors take the general contracting role?
I mean, I think if anything, I was there, you know, Shawn, is this okay? Can we go ahead type person? I don't know if I was, I mean, I had a contractor that was overseeing all of the various projects.
Okay.
So then what would I have been then? Just the boss.
The general assistant.
Just
or
like
general contractor assistant.
Yeah, just the like the sign-off person, right? Like, is this the right color? Are you sure this is the right color?
Yeah. That's cool that they were able to work with you on it. Because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of contractors in the residential world that I'm sure have tackled a project like that. So for them to be able to work with you on that and like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is the things we have to do. And then you being knowledgeable on like the engineering, architecture, design part of it, I'm sure helps, because as much as us contractors can do anything, it's tough to be like, okay, we can do it, but this is what we have to do it. And it comes with this price. And they're like, oh, well, then I don't want to do it. And like, yeah, I know.
My question for you is, how did you actually find the contractors that you chose to work with?
Yeah.
Well, it was actually quite easy now that I think back on it. It happened.
That's
it happened
good.
like this. Yeah. I mean, it was like first pick, I suppose, and we got lucky.
Wow.
We live in a complex, so to speak. I mean, you could call it a gated community. There are maybe 21 houses.
Okay.
And they're all designed in a similar way. So as part of getting approval from the Homeowners Association, we had to get approval from the original architect that did the original, the original complex. Yeah. So we thought, well, I'm not going to go find an architect and then have to still get the sign off by the original architect. Let's just go straight to the original architect. So we did that. That was step number one.
That's easy.
And then he said to us, okay, so there's various packages that we can go into as to do this. You know, I can do the drawings and then you can be on your own. And I said, no, I've never done this before.
That's a good answer. I'm going to lean on the experts. I don't want you going anywhere. Yeah. That's a good answer.
I said to him, look, I'm very excited about this and I know what I want, but I don't know who I need to contact and what I need to get it done. And I need somebody to lean on to bounce ideas back and forth. So I'd like you to, in a way, hold my hand through the process, you know, from a distance. It's a pandemic. So you stay over there, I'll stay over here, but just show me the way. And in that, he suggested one of two contractors. And they came forward and had a look at the site and made some suggestions. My wife works in sustainability education, and we have a tree that was, it's so close to the building line. And she said to both of these guys that came out, she's like, this is my spirit animal. If this tree dies, your head will roll.
You will die.
So I need you to protect it with your life. And one of them took her very seriously. And he was our contractor. So
Love it.
That's how it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
He showed that he cared and you got the bid.
Yeah.
Clearly a family man, lived relatively close to where we are, was able to put his heart and soul into the project as well. And then oversaw all of the other contractors, like you say, from the plumbing to the roofing to the painting he had a core team that obviously was here day in and day out. But they really worked their heinies off to get the project wrapped up as quickly as possible. I mean, just as an example, up until probably 2 weeks before they were due to start, we kept saying, should we stay in the house while you build and he said, well, I mean, you can, it's just going to slow the process down and there's going to be a lot of dust. So, you know, you've got a child that has special needs. Maybe you don't want all the noise and so forth.
Yeah.
So at the last minute, we decided we would relocate our lives for a couple of months. So glad that we did that.
Yeah.
And then B, he managed to stick to that sort of 3 months. I think it ended up being 3 months and 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, to do the entire project so we could get back in the house again.
Wow.
So, and it's still standing. I mean, I'm sitting in one of the rooms that are brand new. So, and we build with brick and cement. I mean, you guys do a lot of drywalling, don't you?
Yes.
We do.
Yeah. I know. My husband, like I said, my husband and I were trying to plan our forever home. We have, granted, not 8 or 9 years until we're going to move out there, but we're already like putting our thoughts in order and trying to be like, what's the biggest priorities and how long is this going to take? And like, so many questions. I was just texting Marcus the other day. I'm like, where do I even start with this? And he's trying to give me advice and so forth. So it's nice to hear your story too, in regards to renovating and how long it takes and all of that.
Yeah, definitely a good decision to move elsewhere.
Yes.
It's chaos trying to live in a construction zone.
Yes.
When we moved into the house that we're in, it wasn't done. And we moved me, my girlfriend, and our 3 kids in during it, and it was utter I was fine with it because like that's
your
the
life.
world I live in. I live in chaos. I'm used to going to job sites and things aren't done. But she, for the week and a half we didn't have a toilet, was not in a good place. So
I am not happy when I don't have a toilet. Did we even talk about that on this episode, on any of the episodes?
Oh, we didn't talk about it on a podcast. No.
Oh my gosh. Can we dive into it real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So at our forever home, we're going to be renting it out for the next, 9 years, 8 years. But we wanted to do a couple of renovations there for the tenants that are moving in. So the renovations were like painting the house, upgrading some of the electrical and plumbing, and redoing a bathroom. Now, granted, It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. That's it. So we told our contractors, hey, we're going to be out and staying at the house for a long weekend on this date. So we are going to need a bathroom,
and that was a month beforehand, correct?
Oh, it was like a month or two beforehand that we told them.
Oh, wow.
And so we said, we'll need a bathroom, whether it's the old bathroom or the renovated bathroom, we need a bathroom. So we get out to the house, which is, 1,000 miles from where we live currently. And we walk into the kitchen, and we are like, the vanity from the bathroom is in the kitchen. Why? And so we walk back to the bathroom, and we see that they are just finishing laying down tile. So if anybody knows anything, when you lay down tile, you take off the toilet. And then you can't put the toilet back on the tile until a minimum of 24 hours. So the night that we slept there was no toilet. So this girl was not super thrilled with it, because I do not like to use the bathroom outdoors. It's not my thing, especially when you have neighbors on both sides of your house. So we ended up calling the contractors the next day and saying that this is unacceptable. We refuse to stay in the house. And so they will need to get us a hotel room. Or they actually surmised the fact that they would need to get us a hotel room. And we said, yes, you will. I refuse to stay in a Best Western or something of the sort, because my house is better than a Best Western. Okay, so they said, okay, well, we'll get you a hotel room that's not a Best Western. So we're calling around to all the hotels. And at this point in time, there was this festival. It was called the Alien Festival, of all things. So we
do it crazy here in America.
At this Alien Festival, all the hotels were booked minus one room it was a very exquisite hotel. It was $580 a night.
Yikes.
So they got to pay for our hotel for the night, and it was fabulous. It was glorious. I loved it. I really wanted to stay there another night, but we didn't get to. So
good recovery from them, but goes to show like the building process is very finicky and difficult.
Yes. So it was very smart of you to move out. In fact, when my parents redid their house, I think we moved out for close to a year because it was a major renovation. So I give you the A+ for that decision.
Yeah. And visiting the house to check in on it every now and again, you quickly realize that it's just chaos. Yeah. And because it's a double-story house, so effectively at one point, there were walls missing, and outdoors and indoors, and there's just cement everywhere, and there's wood everywhere, and there's dust, and nothing's getting cleaned. And it was very nice to come and visit and then be able to turn on my heels and leave and know that it's not my problem to deal with for at least a couple of weeks.
Exactly.
Yep. And I'm sure there's a hole in your ceiling at one point for that lift.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious with that, like the engineering on it. Did you have to go to a structural engineer to redo your second floor
Marcus,
to get this to pop through?
You would have had a field day if you were here during that process. So the where the lift is, was part of the brand new build. Okay, so
Okay.
so that wasn't a problem in terms of the ceiling that it needs to go through. The German engineering is just, I mean, it is what it is. So this particular lift comes with what they refer to as the baffle, and that then is what the cement floor was thrown around. So there was a
Okay.
cutout in the ceiling from the second day through the second floor, from the
And
moment
your
they threw
second
that floor.
floors are framed with concrete?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Wow.
So
That's
I
that's
mean,
new. We don't do that in
oh
America.
really? What do
Yeah,
you do?
that's
Are you
new.
guys just walking around on wood?
Yeah, they're all like floor joists or some sort of like LVL. Yeah, it's wood, and then
Wow.
you have subfloor. It's like 3/4 inch subfloor that you'd put
No.
like then your hardwood or your carpet on top of. Yeah.
There is a layer of concrete above my head that is, I can't even guess. I would say at least a foot deep. I'm guessing. I
Really?
don't know measurements, but I would say
Yeah.
at least yay deep. Uh, and of course, that comes with some form of what are all the words they use? There is shuttering that need to be put down, so that the concrete could be thrown on that, and then of course that's
Okay.
being held up from the first floor, and it's got to sit like that for a couple of weeks or days for
Yeah.
it to dry and for it to cure and so forth. So in terms of throwing that cement slab, that meant for where the lift was going, there was an actual cutout shape. And it's a very obscure shape. It's a very twisty, not twisty. It's got lots of curves in it, shall we say, because the German design is very curvaceous in the way it looks. So that
Yeah.
cutout in the ceiling has curves to it. So it was a
Yeah.
tricky thing for them to throw in a way that frame, that baffle didn't just close in on itself. Because of course, if it closes in on itself, once it gets removed from the ceiling, then the lift won't fit,
Yeah.
right? You have to make
Yep.
sure that it's strutted enough and held in place well enough so that that shape is maintained. So that was the relatively easy part. The lift only travels a floor. I mean, two floors. It's ground floor or first floor. The house is only two floors, right?
Yeah.
Um, but in our lots of plans back and forth, working with contractors, working with external, obviously with the lift, they do everything. They come in, they assemble it all here, they put it together, and they're one of the last entities for the build, right? It's one of the last things that goes into the house. But we need to make sure that those gaps and everything are being maintained, because if they aren't, they need to be fixed before that lift can be installed. And
Yeah.
through that process, their engineer realized that the roof, the actual ceiling on the second floor, was too low. So once it had been
Oh,
cast,
really?
once it had dried, once it was complete, then they realized there wasn't enough headroom.
Oh,
And the
no.
elevator it works in such a way that I keep wanting to call it a housey, because it's just a little, like it's a little housey thing. It's a little capsule. That's a better word. It's a capsule that travels on two pillars, and the pillars have got the chain mechanism, the cable mechanism in it. And the actual mechanics sit on top of this capsule. So when you get into the elevator, above you is where the mechanics are. That's where the motor is. So that travels with you up and down. It's not mounted on a wall. There isn't a cavity underneath the lift. If you're looking at big commercial buildings, all of that mechanism is under the ground. It's not like that at all. So that means that
Okay.
the headroom that you require a little bit more headroom than the actual ceiling height. And
Yeah.
that's where there was a mistake in the measurements.
Uh-oh.
So
How many feet off were they?
um, not a lot, but unfortunately too many, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it was even a foot. I think it was out by,
Oh,
again, I'm going to use centimeters, but if we had to talk about inches, it was maybe 4 or 5 inches out.
Ooh.
So they had to cut out the entire ceiling. I'd say that section. And it's an engineering feat, right? Because there are all sorts of rods that are in that ceiling to hold its strength, to add to the
Yeah.
strength of
Because
that
like
construction.
if our viewers haven't worked with concrete, concrete's not very
forgiving.
durable. It's not durable. Like if you have a piece of concrete, you could easily drop that and it would break apart. It's brittle.
Oh, for sure.
It's the
Oh, for
rebar.
sure.
It's the rebar that's going to give it that tension strength. So I'm sitting here in my brain, I'm like, okay, you've got concrete over you, you've got your load bearing walls, but like
Mhm.
there's some free floating concrete that's just hopefully this doesn't fall apart over your head. And I'm sure they put rebar in there to hold it.
Yeah.
Still,
And
that's a lot of weight.
And I think that was a lot of their concern, was making sure that they cut the right things and didn't cut too much, and that they could support it in such a way that when they were cutting, that it was all still being held.
Yep.
The rest of, like you said, the rest of that space was being held enough and supported enough for everything to resettle before they could throw the slab again. So yes, I wasn't here that day. I just avoided the entire process.
Yeah.
And I have a quick sidebar to add here about centimeters versus inches. My son had a school assignment this week, and he had to measure everything in centimeters. So I went out to our garage to grab a measuring tape, because I was like, oh, it definitely has centimeters on it. No big deal. No, there are no centimeters on our measuring tapes out here. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, he had to measure his bed. And I was like, going and doing the calculations. It's 2.54 centimeters per inch, just so everybody knows.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was sitting there and doing the calculations for the inches that he measured. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to do multiplication now. So he had a double assignment.
Leave it to the Americans to make it more difficult.
Yep.
Yeah, more difficult.
The metric system seems so much easier, but
how big is a thumb? If we had to do things in thumbs, is a thumb typically an inch?
It would be like to here.
Yeah.
So to the first knuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the only knuckle. The knuckle,
yes.
not the
The
first
one
knuckle.
Yes.
The thumb only has. Oh boy.
For me, like it should be, the metric system should be the main. I'm American. I'm gonna go for that one.
I'm
But
fine with that.
almost
opinion,
in
Marcus.
this point, it seems like it's my uncle he was in ships, and he loves like old warships. So he always talks about how fast it would go in knots.
And
Okay.
it's 3 feet for 1 meter, right?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Marcus,
you
think that's
you
about
know
right.
this
That sounds-
football field. Come on.
Oh, that's true. Well, I know yards.
Oh no, it's 3 feet for a yard. Maybe that. I don't know.
And
Ugh.
and I come from a swimming background. There was a period of time where I got to spend some time at Auburn University when I was an assistant swim coach for one of their swim camps. Listen to me throwing on my American accent. It's the only way the kids would understand what I had to say, by the way. I had to slow everything down, and I had to adapt some of the words. Like in South Africa, I speak about water, and they were like, "What are you talking about?" And eventually I was like, "The water. If you put your hand in the water," and they were like, "Oh, water." I was like, "Oh my gosh." So
And I
anyway,
don't even think your accent is that thick.
No, it's not.
I've understood everything so far.
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. But it might be a hybrid of yours and mine, having spent the time that I spent in the States, which again, wasn't a lot of time. I mean, everybody always asks, how many years did you live there for? I was like, no, it was just months. But if I didn't change the way I spoke, I couldn't get through to them. And let's also be fair. It's a pool hall at the university filled with water and lots of reverberation and echo. So I'm not surprised they're trying to read my lips while wearing a swimming cap in the water, and my lips and the words, they just don't. So it's like, let's save us all the issue. I'll just change the way I speak. It's fine.
Well, your American accent is perfect.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's straight out of Alabama.
What other words from Alabama have you picked up and brought back to South Africa?
I don't think there were. I don't know that there were any. I mean, I was in the States in 2005, 2006. So that's a long time ago for me to remember any colloquialisms. But the thing I noticed that was the biggest change for me was when my mom had given me a call while I was there. And I was standing in the pool hall. I think I was really high up behind stands, whatever. And we're having this conversation with the time difference. And I suddenly realized that the pace at which I was speaking had completely changed. This is the pace at which I speak. I naturally speak with an energetic tone. That's just the way I speak. I love it.
Yeah.
But while I was in the States, I had really slowed down. Everything was really deliberate and thought through. And I was conscious of every word I was saying at every particular time. And I could hear her going like this on the other side of the phone. and I was speaking. So I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
trippy."
Well,
I
that
have
really
changed.
helps with your meditative like work that you do then, right?
Yeah, it
Oh,
has.
yeah.
It's come in handy. Yes.
And that was one big thing that we in undergrad for psychology we talked about. When there's a language barrier, a lot of people want to yell louder to make sure that the person can hear them, but that doesn't help. Like yelling at someone doesn't. But when you slow down, you enunciate, it clears it up much quicker. So like you caught onto that way before anybody. So
What can I say? I'm sharp.
you adapt.
Just
You adapt.
I'm
I know.
a scalpel. I'm that sharp. I'm
The one thing I noticed, because we take our spring training trips down to Texas, and on our way down to Texas, we stopped at, I don't know if it was Kentucky or it was some southern state, and I walked into the gas station. I was like, "Hey, do you guys have a bubbler?" And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "A bubbler." And they're like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." I was like, "Oh yeah, you guys call them water fountains. Do you guys have water fountains?" Because to me, water fountains in my front yard throwing up water with like these geese and these animals around it. You throw your quarter in it. Good luck.
You're
I'm not
weird.
drinking out of a water fountain.
That's a Wisconsin thing. That is for sure a Wisconsin thing. In Iowa, which is a state that butts up to Wisconsin, we do not call it a bubbler. We call it a water fountain.
Well, it's patented as a bubbler, so the rest of the U.S. is incorrect. You look up the patent; it is a bubbler.
Well, it didn't get to didn't get to South Africa because we also call them water fountains. So
yeah, I don't know where along the way it got
Not
changed
lost.
to water fountain. I think I got to
because
adapt
they
to it.
spurt out water.
But the first one had bubbles, which is why they call it a bubbler.
But how?
It no longer has bubbles.
But you mean like a sparkling water like bubbles, or do you mean like it literally bubbled? How did you get anything in your mouth if it's just going?
There was water that came through, but like it was like little spurts of water droplets.
That just seems like a lot of like germs crossing barriers and stuff.
It's starting to remind me of an episode of Parks and Rec where the guys had to
Love that
redesign
show.
one of those water fountains, and they're like, let's just take the little spout away, and nobody can wrap their mouths around it anymore.
Yeah, that was what was his name? He just put his mouth like on the whole top of it. In this city, they had a really bad problem with the public putting their mouth on the water spigot to drink. So they're trying, the whole episode's them trying to design a good design for them not to put mouths on it.
Yeah,
and they
100%.
just took it off.
Yeah,
and it worked. That was their solution.
No,
it was very good Parks and Rec reference there.
Love that show.
That's my show I turn on when I'm like, all right, I just need background noise. I'll throw that show on because I've seen each episode about 10 times.
Mine is Joe Kanda, homicide detective. That's my background noise.
Well, I don't know why women love those homicide left at home alone shows. They love them.
Because it makes us feel strong.
But how?
That's my answer.
Because we're brave enough to watch it. I don't know. It's my thing.
I mean, and my wife is constantly listening to true crime podcasts, like wherever she goes. Too. And apparently women are the largest demographic when it comes to those true crime stuff. Is it because you're learning how to get out of situations?
Yes, probably. We're protecting ourselves.
And she says to me often, she's like, oh, this is going to turn out badly for that person in a real life situation. She's like, all the podcasts I've listened to, it turns out it's either the boyfriend, the husband, or the next door neighbor. And I'm seeing this is going to go south. So they need to watch out. I don't know if it's research, right? You're applying it to real life situations.
Yeah, you kind of are. I mean,
see, I get those from Shark Tank. Just
I love Shark Tank too.
2 nights ago, do you guys have Shark Tank down in South Africa?
No, so is it one of those pitch shows?
Yeah,
so you pitch your idea. You've got 4 or 5 panelists, so it's that one. We've got some bigger name people here in America that are the panelists, and one guy's idea was a button that you have on your keychain, and this button was hooked up to your phone. And if you're walking, let's say your car, like in the park, and you get attacked, you can hit this button. It'll call your phone, and then you have to give a passcode. So you'd say like, my password's 1234, and they'd say, okay, sounds good. If it's right, it cuts off communication. If it's wrong, they still say, okay, thank you very much for shutting down the system. Have a great day. Hangs up, calls 4 of your emergency contacts, and then calls the police with your GPS location. So I was
That's
like,
smart.
that's super, super cool. Because I'm going into houses, I'm an agent. So I go with random people to houses all the time. I'm seeing contractors at random places. I'm going to homes for their renovations. So I, of course, as American as I am, I go on Amazon to look at what else there is out there. So I went to Amazon, they've got pepper spray. And this pepper spray has GPS in it. So it hooks up to your phone. So if I ordered it, it's not here yet. When I hit the spray, it automatically sends out contacts to my emergency contacts and then notifies the police, all off pepper spray.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Super cool. I was like, that's a really good idea. And I was like, I'm supporting this person who was on Shark Tank that they didn't get a deal, but even at that, like they got their word out. And I'm a customer. That was genius.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I'd be interested to see how that works. And you can never really test it though, can you? You can't.
Although true crime shows can. So put those in the producer's hands, do an episode about this pepper spray thing.
It could be one of their commercials.
We have learning and education all in one.
Yeah.
You should do. Wow. That's very interesting product. You have schooled me, Marcus. You have schooled me.
The show schooled me. It was a very cool idea that I was like, I didn't even think that I needed that. But now that you say it, I guess that would be. And I bought one for my girlfriend because, she has her own shop. So like and it cost us, I think it was $15-17. So not very expensive for a safety feature that you hopefully don't use. But if you use it, like that's what you want to happen.
That's phenomenal. What a good idea.
Yeah. I can't remember the product name, but I hope they do well. So
this is not a plug for them because we don't know who they are.
I don't have the brand.
There you go.
Yeah,
if you can figure out what Marcus is talking about, you could win one.
Yes.
You put it in the show notes, you'll win one. I'll get you one. If you can recall what the name is. And if you Shark Tank friends.
Well, now that we have gone off on all of our tangents.
Yeah. So the last question that Natasha always asks is, what's your best DIY project? But I feel like we kind of just told us. Did our show. That is the coolest DIY project to date, by the way.
Yeah.
A full house renovation to it.
An entire house renovation. Yeah, I must say the smaller stuff I'm not very good at. Just give me the big things rather. I seem to ace those. I'm really not. Yeah.
Perfect. Then I'll
you
just
seem
go
like
ahead.
the person that just wants to jump in. What's the problem?
And send you all of my ideas for our forever home, and then you just draw up the plans, and it'll be perfect.
Cool. I look forward to it.
Are you burnt out from this build? That's my last question.
The answer to that is no. It was very invigorating. I had burnout like a year before that, so I think I'd already had my quota. So that wasn't a problem for me. I knew how to manage it. I was very much on top of all of the bits and pieces going through the build. So no, I loved it.
That's awesome. We've got a future real estate investor on our hands here.
Yeah, for sure.
Not burnt out from the renovation process.
I just want to do it again. I keep saying to my wife, the next time, now I think what we should do now is if we go into that corner of the house. And her reaction is yours, Natasha, 100%. Because I'm like, there's still space above the garage. I have a double garage. And I mean, it's in a prime location of the property because from there, if you just elevate it, if we were to build on top of the garage, we could see Table Mountain. And if you know anything about South Africa or Cape Town, Table Mountain is an icon. And I actually live a long way away from the mountain. So to be able to see it from my house would be amazing.
That's cool.
That's like Mount Hood out in Oregon. That would be super cool.
Super cool. Yeah. Can you imagine cocktails up on the deck?
Now you've got your next project is to fit space for something. Maybe that's your broadcasting area. You move your broadcasting up there.
Oh, you're putting ideas in my head, Marcus.
Yeah. And if it helps you get through the wife, just say it was my idea.
I
definitely will. Don't worry.
Are you like setting them up for divorce, or are you like...
I wasn't even going to ask for your permission to say that. I was totally going to blame it on you.
Oh, absolutely. I'll take it. She can yell at me. My email and my phone number you can pass along. It just seems like a great idea. My neighbor is trying to redo their garage and build his art studio over the top. So he keeps coming and talking to me like, hey, this is my idea. And I'm like, yeah, we can do that for sure. And the view that he would get is like this Oconomowoc, our city, has a river coming right through it. So he would be able to look over the river, all like the foliage. And we're in like the city of Oconomowoc, and our city is only 15,000. So it's not a big metropolis, but we're on the outskirts of our city. So to get deer and like ducks and geese and all like these animals coming up onto our yards, it's super cool. And he would have a sight line over everything. So I'm like, please do this. Please do this. I mean, you're right next door. I can definitely take this one. It's not too far for me.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to that one because a cool sight line on your office is just like, it just makes you
work.
Yeah. Yeah. We put on some Shawn meditation music. We look over our nice little view and you're in paradise, basically.
I think so. Why would you ever leave? There's no need to.
Nope. Just work 24/7. I'm sure the girlfriend would be happy with that one.
Make lots of money that way.
Well, awesome. So I look forward to those pictures. If you can send us those, or if you still have the plans, you can send those along too. I want to put those in the show notes and put a post on that one because these are renovations that I don't think many people out here will ever see. So to get eyes on those for people, I think would be awesome. Because I know there's people out there that are in circumstances like you that are wondering, what is my solution? Yeah. So even if you can help somebody else with it, that's just it's upping your benefit to this whole project.
100%. Yeah. Just, I don't know, Natasha, if I have email addresses or how I know we've communicated via Facebook up until now. So just let me know and I'll send you stuff.
Email.
Cool.
Awesome.
Groovy.
That'd be great.
Groovy.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for spending your Friday evening-ish with us, late afternoon. Enjoy your Saturday, Sunday.
I'm going to go have a glass of wine now, which you're not allowed to do just yet, right?
I know. So when we were doing our shows at 4 and 5, we were having our drink of the show. And now we have to switch to like orange juice and water.
Sorry about that.
We could do mimosas right now.
Oh, yeah, we could have done that.
I have tons of champagne in the fridge. We got 3 bottles of champagne shipped to us from Oregon because they forgot about us at a wine tasting. So I have plenty of champagne.
Is there a reason we had to do this remotely? I could have come to you to record.
Well, then come out here and help me with my plans.
Could have fitted it in.
I wonder how long that flight is.
Too long. I've done it a few times. It's too long.
Yeah. I don't want to do it. I would love to come visit you. I don't want to sit in a plane that long.
Yeah. It's the type of trip that sucks your personality from your very soul. You know, it takes a little while to recover from that.
Yeah. Jet lag is real.
Yeah, jet lag is real.
Well, we'll do the mimosas next show we have you on. No, that was fascinating stuff, and kudos to you for embarking on something that's like uncharted territory for the most part. So a very unique idea, and thank you for sharing. That was awesome.
Yeah, so cool.
Thank you for the opportunity to share. It's really cool to be able to chat about it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we look forward to your next DIY project because obviously we know it's going to be big. We're not building a chair. We're building buildings here.
Going up.
Literally with your lift going up.
Awesome. Well, I hope you have a lovely evening and enjoy your glass of wine. Hopefully it's a good one.
Thanks, guys. Can I snap a photograph for my socials to say people that we chatted? Can I snap a photo now? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be great.
I'm going to take a photo like this and try and be in it myself because let's see if here we go. Cool. We're chatting. Yeah.
Awesome.
Brad,
they got my nice little Snuggie. I was showing, yes. I'm in the attic of my house and I didn't draw HVAC up here. So I have no climate control. So I'm at whatever whim of the weather. And it's finally getting down into like the 60s up here. So I have come prepared in my like giant Snuggie. My Snuggie sweatshirt.
It's called the Comfy.
That is too cool.
It's a grandma present. My mom got it for me for Christmas one year. I was like, I don't even care if it looks bulky. I wear this everywhere when it's cold because it's so warm. It's functionality over fashion. I know Natasha doesn't agree. My girlfriend doesn't agree either, but so she gets this. She gets this in my Crocs.
Oh my God.
Is that what she sees all day?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think you're winning.
I'm showing off.
Well, have a lovely, lovely evening. We'll chat with you.
We'll get in contact. Definitely. Yeah. I'm so interested to see this lift
Cool. I will
Awesome.
send you
Well, enjoy
stuff.
your evening. We will talk
Thanks, guys.
soon. Thank you so much.
Have a great Friday.
Thank
All the
you.
best.
Have a good Friday evening.
Thank you.
All right.
Ciao.
See ya.
Bye.